Okay, just so you know what's going on, every once in a while I have to reset the workplace. I have to reset. This is what I call my working deck, and this is where the truck has got to be able to come in and out, and even I like to make my working deck big enough to turn that truck around if I want to in the work zone, and not any bigger. I like to minimize it, but basically take what you need, but need what you take as far as new disturbance. So now I got some big rocks to deal with down here, and I'm going to show you how I deal with those after I get a little more material moved out of here. What I should be doing is sorting out this pile of junk I just scraped off the deck. There's a lot of rock in there, and it is going to take a lot of time to sort that out, and so I'll probably just bring the grizzly back up here, and I'm just going to stockpile this. But I do like the method of digging directly out of the pit and putting it in the truck and taking it to the plant. For some reason, when you set it up on the deck and then you have to come and scoop it up and you dump it through the grizzly, and then you scoop it up and put it in the truck, and then you take it down to the plant, and then you dump it on the ground again, and then you scoop it up and you put it in the plant. Well, every time you do that, it's rehandling, and it costs more money. And another thing is, this is bad dirt. This is all garbage dirt. This is the dirt that's sitting up there. This is overburden. And the line, the cut line, this hole over here is the cut or the pit. And I stripped all that with the big excavator down to here, right? And I stacked it as high as I could to minimize the space. But I stopped stripping right underneath the backhoe, right by the back tires. And I need to be aware of that so I don't start throwing garbage in the truck and hauling junk down the hill, because that's how you go backwards really fast. Anyhow, I scraped off the deck. I got all the big rocks out of here because that's another hazard for the tires. And one thing I can say for certain is I hate lugging these tires around. They've gotten a lot heavier as I've gotten older. When I was younger, they weren't that heavy, but now they're like really heavy. Okay, the other thing, the main thing to remember, always remember and never forget, when you're mining, don't be an idiot and cause more work for yourself by not paying attention. See, this is a beautiful tire. Oh, but look what the rocks did. Look at that. But that's nothing compared to this one. That is failure waiting to happen on a really good tire. So what's going on here today as far as hauling the dirt is not important at all. I don't really care about this dirt. This dirt could be worthless, and the only thing that really matters here is I don't break the truck or ruin a tire or break the tractor, because I want to use it again tomorrow. And so I don't care about anything else except my safety first, and then taking care of my equipment. And I don't care about anything. I take all the time I need. I would rather clean decks and move rocks all day long than fix tires. How about that? I'm going to get one more truckload in before sundown, but I want to take a look down here before it gets too much darker. Got some big ones to move here. It's the middle of August. Days are already getting shorter. This is bedrock here. This isn't gravel, this is shale. It's a soft bedrock. This has all been raked as best I can. We got a deep gully heading here between us. We found I think this is a pinch point. I hope this isn't a boulder. I don't know about this, but this will be a pinch point right in here in the bedrock. And let me ask you, since we're down here on bedrock, do you think the values down here are going to be the same as the bedrock values over there? No, not hardly. Hi, I'm back here at the ranch where I mined in 2020. My very first early videos are of me mining on this property, and now it's been growing back for about 1.5 years. Last spring I filled it all in, last April and May, and look how well it's come back. And I didn't seed it or nothing. This ground is so rich in riparian that it's just carrying a lot of natural seeds. And the one thing I changed around here is the aquifer that runs underground. I dug it out to 80 feet here, found really good gold here. But when I filled it back in, I disturbed that underground aquifer. I dammed up the underground river, so it's flowing up over the top of the dam, and this is going to be a wet riparian area. It's spring water, and this will be for some time, probably many years to come. And one of the reasons the property owner didn't mind if I did this is because this all actually makes a lot better grazing and a lot better food for the wildlife. And if he was to bring livestock back up in here, like sheep, they eat all this stuff. They like it. So my purpose for being here today is to resurrect my wet feeder. This is a wet feeder, Aunt Dottie. This is what I had to use over here because it was so muddy. It's got a lot of big rocks, right? See all the big rocks? I can't fit them through the barrel of the wash plant. So I've got that screen, that grizzly screen, to scalp them off. And I was designed to work with dry material. And when I brought that setup over here, this material was so wet and sticky and gooey that it just plugged up the screen. It just plugged up everything. It's just like throwing mud on a screen. It's not going to go through it, and it's just going to plug the screen from anything else going through it. So the only solution for that is called a wet feeder. I don't have any footage of this thing running, but we'll probably see it pretty quick. It's one of them deals. This is made by Goldfield Engineering down in Utah County in Utah. Now, it got so flooding, it flooded in here and it sank. As you can see, everything collapsed. It was sitting up on its jack stands and it was propped up, but when the runoff came this spring, there was like a foot of water running through here. So I've had to wait. I've had to wait until now. It's August. I've had to wait to be able to get my truck over here without sinking. I'm still concerned about it. Now the ranch owner, Johnny, he's coming up here pretty soon. We might get him to come on camera, I don't know. But he's got that horse riding, he's got a full-size rodeo arena down here in the, I don't know if the camera will see it down there, but he owns this ranch goes down past that microwave tower is on the ranch. But he had me save this to put more sand in his arena, in his riding arena down there. And then I saved a little bit of washed gravel to use on the roads and for any future construction purposes. You know, if you decide to do anything around here, it's good to have gravel to stabilize the ground before you build on it. And, you know, trucking gravel up here, or trucking prepared material like that to a remote area would be really expensive. So This doesn't cost nothing to let that sit over there for however long until we need it. So stand back. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of work ahead of me to get this thing up and out of here. But that's the project for the rest of today, is get this thing up and running. Look at how it's just exploded with growth out here. Okay, so once again my plans go afoul. I've got the wrong bolts. That's a coarse thread. I don't know if it'll focus. That's a fine thread. I got to go back down to that valley, all the way back to the bottom of the world down there, get a different set of bolts. That's why I didn't hitch it up first. You never hitch it up till you're ready. But wow, look at this great hitch. That's going to be great to, you know who did that? An idiot. An idiot that wasn't paying attention. And now he's paying the price. Okay, I'll get back with you. Get back with you when I get the right stuff together. Got the right ones. I'll get these put on now. We'll make some progress today. Don't try this at home. That double nut right there makes this safe. That's how you fix broken trailer hitch. Now my next thing is to get this piece of crap out of here. And that. It's just so much in my way. I spent the last couple days fixing the 4-wheel drive on the backhoe, so I got that working again. And the next thing is to try to come over here and drag this thing out of the way. It weighs more than the backhoe, that's the problem. If you look at some of my early videos over at JB's Creek, I think it's called Reaching for Bedrock Gold. But if you look at that video, at the tail end of it, you can see that I used to have this set up where that was feeding this wash plant over here. And what I did is I cut that hole where that green patch is, and I stuck a chute in there from that machine over here. But if you look back at that video, you can see how I had the setup over there on JB's Creek. Have you ever seen a shaker deck with a gas engine on it? Well, you're going to see this one work. One thing to notice when you're buying used mining equipment, when you see bearings like this that are throwing grease out, they're worn out, they're shot. This one not as bad. You see I keep it greased pretty good, but this is a real pain in the butt to change those bearings. They don't cost that much, but it's a full day's job getting this thing apart and changing them out, and that'll be a winter time deal. I was hoping I wouldn't have to use this ever again. All right, back down to the new home. Now, have any of you been able to figure out why I need another wash plant down here when I have a perfectly good one over there? Some of you may have been asking yourself, what's this guy doing? He had it made, and scalping all that rock up in the pit and leaving all that waste material up there and bringing down concentrated loads of material with no big rock in it, and being able to put 100% of that through the plant. And now I'm just bringing pit run down and having to scalp it down here. Well, the reason behind all this, why I changed up, is I'm getting into a lot of rock, a lot of big rock, and that big rock has gold stuck to it. There's a lot of gold stuck to these big rocks down there sitting on bedrock. The rocks up high, not so much, but the big rocks laying on bedrock. And that when I start tearing the bedrock up, that crevice material is stuck to these big flat slabs of bedrock, right? That crevice material is stuck, and that gets rejected by the grizzly. Well, my plan is going to be everything that comes off this grizzly is now gonna go up there, because that thing's made to handle big rocks. You can throw 36-inch rocks on that and they'll just bounce right off and wash everything good. I hate shaker decks. It's the worst wash plant to get. They only work for certain types of material. The nice thing about them is they can handle pretty good size feed, but they literally beat themselves to death, shake themselves apart. It's like a machine is designed to destroy itself. You're throwing rocks on it, it's vibrating, they just get all cracked and broken, and they're high maintenance. Anything that runs at high vibration is going to be high maintenance, and that's why I hate them. Now, I had to go to this because I couldn't get material into my plant without this, but I'm going to reuse it a different way now, and I'll be able to wash all this big rock and all this. You know, there's slough, there's good material here that gets spilled off the front of this. I'll dig a pit right here, and then I'll be able to scoop directly out of that pit. Once it gets full, I'll shut that wash plant off over there, and then I'll come over here and I'll turn this one on, and I'll process all my rocks. Yeah, you see that? That's not good. You know, it's rained out here since I've scalped this, but there's a lot of good material stuck to these rocks. And after hauling them down here, why not wash them? And so I'm setting up over here. This is the old tailings pile. I'm thinking I'm going to clean all this garbage left over from the former tenants who left all their garbage for me to clean. But once I get this garbage cleaned up, I think I'm going to put this wash plant closer to the pile, or maybe even up on top of the pile, because everything falling off of it then will be where it needs to be. I won't have to move it. I can just push it away and just keep pushing it away. The whole idea is to less handling.